All right, let's dive into something that trips up C-sharp developers all the time. Ref versus out. I'm sure you've been there, staring at your code, wondering which one is the right call. But here's an idea. What if the real problem isn't the choice between them, but the way we ask the question in the first place?
This right here, this is the classic question. It feels totally logical, but it's actually built on a really common misunderstanding of how C# works with objects. And trust me, the answer is probably not what you're expecting.
So, first things first, let's tackle that confusion head-on. Because before we even get into the ref versus out debate, we got to get on the same page about a really key detail of modifying objects in C#.
That's the kicker right there. If you're passing a class instance, a regular object, into a method, you're already passing a reference to that exact same object. You can change its name, update its status, whatever, and those changes will be reflected outside the method. You don't need any special keywords for that at all.
Okay, so that brings us to the real reason ref and out even exist. It's not about changing what's inside an object. It's about changing the reference itself, the variable's actual identity.
Look at it this way. On the left, we're just tinkering with a property. Think of it like you're redecorating a house. The address on the mailbox stays the same. But on the right, you're assigning a completely new object. That's like bulldozing the house and giving the variable a totally new address. That's the moment you need ref or out.
Okay, so now that we know when we need them, let's finally have the showdown, ref versus out. And we're going to start with a fantastic analogy that just makes it all click into place.
I love this. It just says it all, doesn't it? With ref, you bring an existing memo to the meeting. It might get edited, it might not, but you brought it in. With out, you show up empty-handed and you leave with a brand new memo that was created for you. It's all about the direction the data is flowing.
And this table here basically turns that memo analogy into a set of rules. With ref, data flows both ways, in and out. So the code that calls the method has to provide an initial value. With out, data only flows one way, out. So the method itself has the responsibility to create that value.
Now this isn't just a friendly suggestion. This is a hard contract, and the C# compiler is the enforcer. These are rules you can't bend, and if you try, the compiler will stop you in your tracks.
And here's the proof. If you try to pass an uninitialized variable using ref, bam, compile error. The compiler is saying, hey, the contract says ref variables must have a value when they come in. But without, no problem at all. It's totally fine because the compiler knows the method has promised to assign a value before it's done. So when you see ref, you should think this variable already has a value. The method is free to read it, to change it, to do whatever it wants. It's a two-way street. And when you see out, that's a guarantee. The method is making a promise. It's saying, I don't care what you give me, I promise I will give this variable a value before I finish. And the compiler holds it to that promise. But this goes way beyond just making the compiler happy. Using these keywords is like a form of communication. It's you, the developer, signaling the intent of your code to anyone else who reads it. And this is why it's so important. It's about clarity. When another developer sees out in your method signature, they instantly know, this method produces a value for me. If they see ref, they know, okay, the variable I pass in might get changed. It just makes your code safer, your APIs cleaner, and your life easier.
Honestly, there's no better real-world example than good old int.tryParse. This is the out parameter living its best life. The method's main job is to return a Boolean. Did it work or not? So how does it also give you the number? With an out parameter. It is just a beautiful, clean, and super efficient way to get two pieces of information from a single method call.
So, you've got it now, right? Ref for data that goes both ways. Out for data that's only coming out. But what if you wanted to pass something by reference just for performance, but you want to guarantee it won't be modified? Well, C# has you covered there too. It's called the in modifier, and it's the third piece of this puzzle. But, that's a story for another time.